Hello, my name is Ilona and today is Tuesday, June 4th, 2024. I want to thank everyone that reacted on my shorts yesterday about if there's an interest in short videos with very specific topics, especially for people that join later on and certain terms that we use that are not completely clear for them. And other things I could do in those videos, and a lot of responses, so thank you very much for that. So I'm certainly going to do something with it the coming weeks. I'll have to see how I'm going to shape this. Of course, I'm a little behind, of course, because last week I took some time off, so I have a lot of emails, messages, things I need to read through, a lot of information. So we'll have to see. Maybe this week, maybe next, or maybe the week after that, but I'm certainly going to work with it. And I also have a list of certain topics that people had some questions about. So thank you very much for that. The thing I wanted to mention in this video, first of all, I thought this was very interesting. This is from the Gateway Pundit. Maui Fire Department Battalion Chief is, well, something to do with children in a very bad way. So he's been charged with that. Interesting, that's what I thought. Not surprising, because certain puppets are placed on certain positions. And of course, the Dark Energies has material that they can use against them, especially concerning children. They also facilitate that so they can use it. Of course, what we're hearing about P. Diddy and Epstein, and those things happen on a very large scale. But this it's just interesting that it's now coming out. We know in Maui it was a mess, especially the reaction also from the fire brigade, and water was turned off. It was just a lot of things were coming out. It's still very unclear, but I just wanted to mention that. Another thing, of course, what's happening right now is, of course, the Dr. Anthony. Dr. Anthony is now talking in a subcommittee, from a Republican-led subcommittee, about what's been happening, of course, the past 4 years. And really, it's not going very well for him. Let's just say that. It's not going very well. Things are coming out. We've also seen this here in the Netherlands concerning the Ministry of Health at that time, that certain documents were revealed that really the thing in front of the mouth really had nothing. It couldn't do anything. It was basically just an experiment in behavior. And we see the same thing with this Dr. Anthony, that obviously nothing was based on science and it was just one big mess. Very important that this is coming out, very important because it will spread. And especially also people that had that position or spoke out about that, of course, during that time here in the Netherlands, in Belgium and other countries, should watch out, because this is not going to be stopped. This will continue. So I just wanted to mention this. And in this video, I have 3 things I want to take a look at. First of all is the voting here on June 9th, well, not here, but in Belgium, in Europe. There is voting happening in Belgium on June 9th, and I just wanted to take a look what the energy is. And this is the Hanged Man. We've got the High Priestess as the central card. We've got the 9 of Swords in the past. We have the 3 of Pentacles underneath the High Priestess, and we have the Hermit and the Sun card. That's very interesting. So this is for their future. Let's see. I think I'm supposed to hold it like this. It's mirror, mirror. I have to change it. It's very interesting for the future. What I want to mention is that I don't think a lot of drastic things will happen. I think it's going to be very similar to what happened in the Netherlands. Of course, a lot of people, because of another party, more right-winged, was put forward, that people thought things will change, but ultimately it's controlled opposition, so not much has changed, unfortunately. So these things will probably happen in Belgium in one way or another. Even if a new a party suddenly becomes bigger, that doesn't mean very much, because the puppets are still there. But it's going to be interesting. It's kind of hanging still, so I don't think a lot of changes ultimately will be made. It may seem that way, other puppets will be put in the forefront, but just like with the Netherlands, I do think It is there to show people there's a lot of secrecy, hidden things with the high priestess, not completely clear what's going on, but people are working behind the scene with this. But ultimately, I do think that it will help the Belgian people to turn inward and start looking for their own answers. And with the Sun card, I think children will come out, and ultimately this will shed light on a lot of things. Same thing that's been happening here in the Netherlands. I already mentioned yesterday, of course, the new prime minister that has all kinds of connections, also connected to children in some ways. I think it's going to be very interesting what's going to come out about that. But in Belgium, this is really to open people's minds, to show them all these corruption, all these tricks, all these games. Here in the Netherlands, it has happened, of course, with the forming of this new government. A lot of people are sick and tired of what's been happening and seeing these childish things and all these twisting, manipulating. It's very interesting to see. And of course, that right-winged party had to, do a lot of water with the wine. I think that's the expression, at least in the Netherlands it is. It had to dilute itself, and I think that's exactly the point. So the same people, same puppets are still in control, and I think that's going to be shown in Belgium as well, even though it will seem like there's just humongous change maybe, or I'm not sure. I don't see a lot of changes really happening, but like I said, I look deeper at the thing, and this is about showing people these puppets still have roles to play, and as long as the puppets are here, we can't really expect a lot of changes. Puppets need to be removed. So that's what I've got for the voting in Belgium. Then we have another voting here in Europe. The European Parliament. That's on June 6th here in the Netherlands. I think in Europe it's different dates. It's between the 6th, the 7th, the 8th or the 9th. I think have several dates in different countries, but at least here in the Netherlands, it's on Thursday, June 6th. So we can vote if people want to for the European Parliament. Because this is also interesting, by the way, to mention that in Belgium you have to vote. Otherwise you can get financial fine or even jail time. Yeah, that's really strange. We don't have that in Netherlands, but I've heard that from someone. But you can show up there, show that you actually are voting, and then just don't, when you get that paper, don't do anything with it, because ultimately they won't be able to prove that you have or have not voted, but at least you showed up. But it's just a very strange system. But in Belgium, that apparently is the law. So you have to at least show up to appear to be voting. Very strange. Anyway, the European Parliament. So what we have here, the Moon card. Nothing is what it seems. We have the Ace of Pentacles. That's for me, of course, a yes. I'll mention this. I will talk about this in a minute. I'm just going to show the rest of the cards. The Queen of Pentacles in the background. We've got the Nine of Swords underneath the Ace of Pentacles. And for the, I have to do it here this way. Yes. We have the Four of Cups and the Nine of Cups for the future. At least after everything is done. I don't think people are going to be very happy. Like I've mentioned with what's happening in Belgium and of course in the Netherlands. I think the same thing will happen in the European Parliament. I don't think a lot is going to change, at least from the outside. With the Ace of Pentacles, that's kind of confirming that. See a lot of stress. So there are things happening. There we have puppets running wild as well. And nothing is what it seems. But I don't think people are going to be very happy with what will come out. And certain groups, I'm going to take a look at the farmers after this card reading. They are already gearing up and heading towards Brussels. That has to do, of course, the voting in the European Parliament. They're not very happy with all these meddling climate agendas being pushed there. But ultimately, this will lead to people seeing it. This will lead to another way of thinking. And this is the Nine of Pentacles, Nine of Cups, I mean. So there's a change happening, but people need to see it. People need to see all the things that are happening, all these corruptions, people put in certain places. I think this will just lead to more showing things. So as long as the puppets are still there, I don't think massive changes is going to happen. It may seem on the outside, but ultimately this is really about showing people what's been happening for so long. So that's what I've got for the European Parliament. Like I said, a lot of stress. People are not going to be happy with it. And ultimately, it will lead to better things and people seeing it in a different way. So this is the last card reading I did for, I just have to get a few cards, changes. This one, I had double cards, so I have to use my smaller deck. And let's see. This is about the farmers. Farmers are really gearing up. We've got Dutch farmers going to Brussels, of course, Belgian farmers. We've got French farmers, Spanish farmers who are actually blocking the border between Spain and France, I think, as we speak. Not much notion of the media, obviously, but they are not happy. I'm sure German farmers will pitch in. This is really about getting together, coming together. And I just want to mention that it may not have a immediately effect on it, because like I said, I think this is the old energy that needs to be played out, but this will put so much in motion, getting together with people, you know, standing up. We've got people in Germany standing up every Monday, getting together. We have people in Japan. I saw something, you know, there was standing up for the treaty and the WHO in Geneva. You know, we have so many people now gathering, and I think the farmers are also very important, standing up, and they are. We've got the World card, we've got the High Priestess, we've got the Hanged Man in the past, we have the King of Swords underneath the High Priestess, and for the future we have the Death card and the Knight of Swords. So I think they are bringing in new energies, and it may not seem right away. There are so, you know, still veiled secrecy. Things are not clear with the High Priestess, but there is a force behind it, most likely a male because of the king, but could be a female as well. But someone very intelligent, preparing this, taking care of this, really shaping this and forming this. And this is so important for just the connection, because everything is connected. We are, as humans, are connected. So when a group of people gather together, it has an effect on everyone else ultimately. So this is really, you know, that they were a bit quiet for a while, at least here in the Netherlands, the farmers, but they're speaking out again, and they're not accepting anything less. This is, the old is already ending. The old, it's already started. The energy is already changing, so new things can come in. And the Knight of Swords, we're going to hear more and more from the farmers. I think they'll be one of the group that is not going to be very happy with what's going on from the European Union and European Parliament, and they will let themselves be heard. I do think, especially because there's so much cooperation now going on with all these different farmers from Europe, they are beginning to understand more and more what's truly going on, and really they just want to get rid of the farmers. And standing up, this will have an effect on the rest of humanity, just like with the truckers, just like with the fishermen standing up. People standing up has an effect ultimately, at least in the energy, the changing of the energy. So I see this as very positive, although I don't think this is going to have an immediately effect on the European Parliament and suddenly there's going to be all these changes made and we don't hear anything about the climate anymore. Still, the rollout is happening. These dark energies need to be exposed. People need to understand how far it's been gone, what's all been affected. And let's face it, WHO has been affected, the European Union has been affected, the NATO has been affected, everything, all the parliaments around the world, the government, they've all been infected with this agenda that they're pushing, and it needs to be shown. So I want to leave it at this. Hope to see you in another video. Bye.